People, I want to know why the Avengers were not at T'Challa's funeral. Am I nitpicking or is this a major plot hole? Paulie back here on the slant. If you love what we're doing, make sure you are subscribed. If you really love what we're doing, please consider donating via PayPal and or super chat, super thanks during and anytime thereafter this video. All right. You know we've been covering Black Panther Wakanda Forever for almost 2 years now because of the inclusion of De Noche Huerta as Namor the Submariner. You can check out that playlist as well. So I watched the movie and I intend to watch it again with family this week. And one of the major plot holes that I found, I wanted to talk about. I was thinking about it a lot, and this should be maybe part of 2 or 3 videos on the biggest plot holes in the movie for me. And some can say it's nitpicking, some can say it's not, but a plot hole for me is a omission or a addition into the story that doesn't make sense. I just don't get it. And so one of the things was, why was there not a single Avenger at the funeral of T'Challa in the movie? So I asked this question on our YouTube and our Twitter pages, and I got just amazing responses. And if you're just getting to this as well, please respond and comment as well. Now, when I asked this question, I'm thinking, okay, in the timeline of the MCU, right? In the timeline of the MCU, T'Challa and everyone in Wakanda fought with the Avengers, died, survived, blipped, came back, all together as one. The entire globe of the earth fought against Thanos. So um, that's where I'm coming from. And also, too, in the end of Infinity War, T'Challa, Okoye, and Shuri were all present at Tony Stark's funeral, which was a private affair as well. So, and you can say, and they know that he saved everyone in the MCU, in these movies. He saved everyone. So there's, I believe, like a bond of brothers and sisters that went to battle together that supersedes to me anything else. That they would be there and pay respects, but we're not in the film. I find that very odd and very, just not thought out well. So I asked the question, why would why wasn't there a single Avenger at T'Challa's funeral? They fought united against Thanos in on Wakandan land. Not even Bucky, Sam, Captain America. Hashtag recast T'Challa. Hashtag Wakanda forever. And for our page, right, we got on Twitter. We got an immense response, a huge response, and some really interesting um, responses. Okay, so let's read some of these. Now, some of these were getting on a little racial and cultural lines, as far as Paul Chato said, very good point. Maybe no white superheroes allowed. Uh, I really, I really hope not. But you weren't alone. Your Muslim uncle, because too many of them are white. This is forced diversity. Current agenda masterpiece. Oh man, I really hope not. I really hope not. Some were saying it was like budget constraints. They didn't get paid enough to show up. Um, Rev Danny said, uh, I so wanted to see them attend the funeral, but unfortunately, Bucky was banned for not entering Wakanda after he released Zemo out of prison while Sam is probably on a mission as the new captain. Okay. All right. You know what? That's in that TV show. And I think I remember was it a Okoye showing up something like that. So you're probably right. Okay. Well, that would make sense because Bucky would be my number one choice to to attend. And if you're saying in the MCU he was banned from ever coming back, that kind of is heartbreaking, but that makes sense. Okay. Sam, on assignment, listen, you stop things when the king is dead. You stop things when the king is dead. But there was also the Hulk. And that's just the thing. I'm not an expert on what everyone was doing. So thank you, Rev, for telling me that. Rogue Attraction says it makes no sense not to have Bucky in this film. I would have liked that. Maybe they could have had some sort of where Shuri sends the olive branch to come to the funeral because they had so much interaction together. And either during or towards the end, Bucky and maybe Sam help in advisement with Namor, because of just the world and the creation. Also, too, up until the death, they had been keeping up with each other. Now the blip happened, but Okoye was alive. She was running things as far as like those monthly meetings with the Avengers. So they were all part of the same, connection there. Captain Marvel, but yeah. So, either way, I just find their omission just very strange. And to say they closed the borders, they became, it becomes a different story. Like as if fighting in the Infinity Wars in the MCU no longer mattered. Like that just, it almost like it didn't happen. So that's a little strange. And I'm still getting more and more responses as, even right now as we're recording. So this is I'm getting this a lot. Is that with tradition in Wakanda, I highly doubt the queen would want any outsiders to take part in this traditional Wakandan funeral ceremony. Yes, the rest of the world knows they exist, but doesn't change the fact they're still super isolated. But at that point, they weren't. It looks like in the movie they went back to being super isolated. I remember the king opened up so much to where they fought Thanos there at Wakanda, and everyone was involved with that. So the queen wouldn't want any unnecessary outsiders, but the Avengers are not outsiders. It's completely different. So I agree. Overall, they are not family friends. It's clear that some had closer ties with each other, like She-Hulk shows with Banner and Stark. But General Stark is dead. Captain's unknown. Cap's like an old man, so that would be a stretch for an old man Cap to show up. Thor off world, and he can just say it's kind of easy to say, oh, they're all off world, but it's a plot hole for me. It's a plot hole for me. Maybe it was Wakandans only. Well, it was obviously in the movie. It was Wakandans only, and that's from Wild Rose. So yeah, again, it's just that simple question, and I got a lot of fantastic responses. Oh, almost 92 comments, almost 500 uh, likes, 77 retweets. I mean, I don't get that kind of activity on my Twitter. So so thank you, Rev, for that one. Nick McCabe says reminds me immediately of The Force Awakens, right after Han dies, when Leia walks right past Chewie to hug Rey, as if Leia and Chewie hadn't known and fought beside each other for years, had nothing to do, and no one had nothing and no one in common. Pissed me off when I finally noticed. Good point, Derek Clay, Dirk. I thought I was the only one who noticed that. No, there's a lot of us that noticed that. scroll down some more because we got so many great comments. And again, please let me know what you think. Comment back. That's really important here. Uh, Sarah says, busy. Rad Remington, bad writing. It's bad writing, guys. And the thing is that for me, there's so many of these plot holes throughout the film. That's why I can't recommend the film. Uh, Kenny the Navy guy. IRL actors cost too much money to show up for a cameo. In universe, they're an isolated nation that doesn't want outsiders in it. Just guessing. Well, I already talked about the isolation nation, which I think it's almost as if this part 2 movie happened before part 1, before the Infinity Wars. Actors cost too much money. Listen, Disney can buy several countries right now. You know, they can pay for a couple of, let's say they pay for 2 cameos. Come in one day, 2 cameos. Okay, you come in for one day for 2 cameos. Who would you want? Who would you want? I would pick uh Sam as Captain America, coming in, flying in. Okay, and either Captain Marvel might be a stretch. I would really like Bucky, and then they can make a reconciliation. You know, a couple of sentences here. But see, it speaks to those are my two choices. But it speaks to this whole hastily written um, funeral sequence as to how they treated the the death of T'Challa. That they decided that he is going to be gone. So to me, this whole opening sequence was a major misstep for me. Okay, we got some more. Um, Let me see. Uh, Fonzie says it was smart. You can just excuse it as their personal ceremonies not involving outsiders. Well, it was a state ceremony because the entire state was there. The entire state of Wakanda and other tribes. Other than the Winter Soldier, none of these characters are exactly super close, and even he's debatable. No, it's not debatable. They were very close. By that time, before Infinity Wars, I would agree, right? But T'Challa brought in Bucky, whom he thought killed his father, saved him, froze him, later on gave him an arm, gave him a place to live. That's a little more than being an outsider. He's the white wolf. In a narrative sense, you don't need outside camera distractions. Listen, Marvel is known for doing that, and I do agree there can be a major distraction. I'm not arguing that. I think here would have been poignant and poetic to have them at the beginning, and then you get into the next part of your movie, and dealing with such a new threat of the Talocons and Namor, to have Bucky or Sam come in and advise, and they could have put the call out. They could have put the call out. They've been in connection with each other for a while now. But you can see this. I love this. To me, I see this whole conversation as like deep nerding. I love deep nerding. I think deep nerding. Hmm. That's like a new series. Um, Despicable Fool revamped. They probably don't let them in because they're colonizers. Oh man. Well, there's like I said, there's so many incredible um, people now just making up shit to be mad at the Baroness cause. And hey, listen, I'm not mad. I just don't understand, right? The thing that I'm really upset about is the lack of black fathers and sons, and then as well as Namor being an only child as well. That I could say is I'm angry about. And I didn't make this up. It's in the story. It's in the movie, and I can nerd out about it because it's my YouTube channel. This is what I've set up for. You know. So yeah. So again, those are the just some of the comments that you guys have been giving me. Have you seen the movie? Are you going to see the movie? I recommend whenever you're critiquing a movie that you go see it. Absolutely. It kind of makes sense whether you're going to recommend it or not. And also too, just like, voting kind of gives you your power to critique. So I would like to know what your thoughts are, and also to look out for another. I think I'm going to do two more of these where I just go over some major plot holes in the film. And I believe the next major plot hole in the film for me to talk about is why Namor and the Talokans did not save the other Mayan indigenous people who were enslaved. I think it's a good I think it's a very good point to bring up. All right, everybody. That's all the time I have for right now. Thank you so much. Thank you all the new subscribers. Muchísimas gracias. Wherever you're at, keep that slant fuerte.